Today's conversation is about why so many agents get out of the business. Why do agents get out of the business? What are the most common reasons that we see? And what can you do to prevent that? That's what we're going to have a conversation about today.
And the question is, are agents really still getting out of the business right now? We saw a big turn in 2023. Now it's 2026. Do you think that over the next couple of years, the agents are going to be growing the industry or actually leaving the industry? What's kind of your thought process on that?
I think there's going to be another surge of more agents coming into the business as business is a little bit more booming and favorable to agents in the next year to come that it has been over the last few years. However, when I say agents getting out of the business, I do want to clarify because this is something I was thinking about, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this too. But as I was thinking about this, I was kind of realizing it's not so common. I'm not saying agents, like a bunch of agents are getting out of the business as in solid agents that have great, awesome businesses, have been in the business for a good amount of time. They've got things figured out. That I feel like there's a low turnover rate. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm talking about the fact that it's very easy to get your real estate license. There's a very low barrier to entry. And because of that, there's about 85 to 95% failure rate, meaning like 90% of everybody that gets their real estate license in 5 years will not be licensed anymore. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a very high turnover rate as far as people getting into the business, not actually getting their business established. But if we're looking around and thinking about, for example, the agents that we know that have been running businesses for 10 years, 11 years like us, 20 years now, there's not, those agents aren't getting out of the business. That's not what I mean. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, because I would be hanging my license somewhere and just going to a specific brokerage where there's not much fees, and you can always hang your license, quit your MLS fees, go do your thing, go work another job while keeping your real estate license. So that's where kind of my thought process is like, what is going to happen with those agents that have done that over the last few years? And now that the real estate market's kind of coming back, is a lot of people would say for buyers and sellers, are they going to come out of the woods? Are they going to keep their current jobs? And because there's change, right? There's life that you got to do, and schedules is really big. So when you are employed, you got a schedule you got to stick to. So are they going to come back out of the woods as a real estate agent? I don't know.
I'm just a very big fan of real estate. If you're going to do it, you take it seriously. It's your career. It's your lifestyle. Doesn't mean you have to work, more than full-time hours or even more full-time hours, but it's your career. You know what I mean? Not just like, I'm jumping into the business because it's a good market right now. Anyone can sell a house right now. Like that mindset and mentality, I don't think is going to build a successful business or anything sustainable. And I just don't think that it's worth it, to be honest.
Right,
but so that's not our audience today, as this is geared toward the people who are getting into real estate. They have their real estate license and they're like, my business hasn't taken off yet. I don't know if I can keep doing this. What can I do to stay in the business? I don't want to quit. I don't want to be the percentage. I don't want to be the 90% of people who get their license and don't make it 5 years. That's the audience, not the established people. That's who we're going to do today.
No, I was terrified of that happening actually, because you always hear that statistic of once you're in real estate school, you get your license, you pass that state federal test. Then what? Are you just going to turn into another statistic or what? I do know, like I went to every meeting, every sales meeting, tried to just educate myself in the beginning, just to like have some type of foot to stand on, because I was a 20-year-old dude that really didn't have any experience. I didn't know much financial verbiage. It was a lot of the verbiage that I think I was like most scared about. And so if you can get familiar with the tone and how you can talk in the real estate lingo, I think you're going to do a lot better.
Yeah, I think that the first thing I would say is get plugged in. You cannot do this as a new agent, or you shouldn't try to do this as a new agent without ever being around other seasoned agents, without having any sort of community. No, this does not mean you need to be at a brick and mortar brokerage. That might be best for you, but that very well might not be. If you are at Real Broker, for example, because I have the privilege of mentoring and sponsoring agents all over the US and Canada at our brokerage, Real Broker. And if you are there, I would say, find community at Real. Find one of the masterminds that you vibe with, that you're like, you know what, that's how I want to run my business, or I really like this agent that's teaching it. tune into it every week. These are your mentors. It's literally free mentorship from people who are actually doing the things that you want to do. Ask them questions on the mastermind. Go to a real cafe if they have one in your area. Some places have more real agents than others. If they don't, start one. Like, just don't try to do this alone. And it doesn't even have to be your brokerage. Lean on the local title company, the local National Association of Realtors, your local WVMLS. Call all three of those places and ask them for the upcoming class schedule and go to all those classes, as many of the, in-person classes as you can. I guess what I'm trying to say is get plugged into the real estate community. If at your brokerage, absolutely, if you can, if they have that, like they do at Real. But just get plugged in.
That's really good advice. And getting you plugged in doesn't mean you're just running around everywhere and staying busy while not doing dollar producing activities.
Right. Don't waste your time there, because there is a fine line. Yes.
I think you should find, honestly, like 4 or 5 core people, whether that's 2 other agents, someone in your office, a title company gal in your lending team. I think like those people to start with would be so important for you to have that support system, that support group, and talk to you throughout the day. And you only have to do that like certain amount of hours. And I would definitely structure your weekly schedule accordingly to that, because don't get it confused. You do have to go out and get appointments in order to get to the end of escrow, right? So talking, relationships, getting with the programs is really important, but also realize this is a client professional relationship. So you got to go out and get the clients too. Yeah.
So the next thing I would say is find your thing and go all in on it. What does that mean? Well, we all know there's a million ways to get business. There's marketing, there's prospecting. Prospecting is going to be more like right now business. Marketing takes a little longer. They're both really valuable. Find your way, whatever way that speaks to you, because they all work if you stick with them long enough and do them well enough. Find your way of getting business and zero in on it and focus, instead of trying to be everywhere and doing everything, but not really doing anything that well or becoming an expert at anything, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I love that. And ask yourself like why you got into the industry.
Yeah.
I think that's a really valid question, is why are you doing what you're doing? Is it to, support yourself, your family, obviously to make some type of money, you got to put food on the table, but like make it a transaction between you and someone else rather than just so personal, because you can really get confident or self-conceited, and you want to make sure you're in the service industry for the right reasons. I think that's really important, just to have a level head on your shoulder. I promise you, people can like smell that in the air when you don't have the right intention, especially on potential showings and stuff like that, because you do have a fiduciary duty to hold to your client. And knowing why you're in the industry, firstly, is one of the biggest steps you can take. So you can hold a responsibility when doing these showings and providing services to the transactions.
The next thing I would do is I would utilize time blocking, figure out how to use time blocking. Because I know a lot of you that get into the business, a lot of the agents I get to talk to all the time through our brokerage, they are not, sometimes they are in a position where it's like, this is my only main thing right now. I'm focusing, I'm going all in. But a lot of times they still have another job they're trying to figure out how to ease out of, but they got to make money in real estate first, or they're actively raising a lot of young kids. And so they don't just have all this time, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And even if you do have all this time, I would say even more so, you need a little structure in your business. We all get into this business for freedom, but you do need structure. And I would argue that that structure in your business is actually going to give you even more freedom. So what I mean by that is learn how to time block. And actually, when you look at your schedule the week before the week starts, when you are looking at your schedule, put your prospecting activities, and by that I just mean talking to someone, having conversations with someone that might want to buy and sell. Put those activities into your schedule first and foremost, and then schedule the rest of your week around that. And I would even add, put into your schedule, you might not want to do this, but I would even add, put into your schedule time every single week to force yourself to create a video. Don't make it, don't turn into this whole, it's going to take hours or even a whole hour. No. Don't waste your time here trying to be perfect, trying to look great. No. The whole point of this is because you are learning how to articulate things about the buying and selling process, about your area, things that you're going to be needing to know how to articulate to your clients. Anyway, I hear from clients all the time, or from agents all the time, Mariah, I want to be able to attract my dream clients from video like you have. And I'm just nervous because I don't really know how to talk about these neighborhoods in my area yet, or I don't know how to talk about the buying process yet. So I need to wait until I know how. But I would say that doing it on video first, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It shouldn't be perfect. Just literally do it. One take, you're done. If you don't like it, try again next week, keep going. That is how you're going to learn how to articulate to your clients. And that's going to help you become an expert in your area, whether you're driving around videoing, different neighborhoods, different houses, or you're talking about the buying process or whatever you're doing. Force yourself to do that. This is just what I would do if I was brand new and I was like, I want to stay in the business. So that's not like the number one priority right now. You got to be like talking to people, getting clients, but I would put, a little bit of time on your schedule to do that every week.
Yeah. And on the topic of like time blocking, make sure that you can time block and go to like, what are they called? They're called broker opens as well. So those are free for you guys as a real estate agent. This isn't to show your client the home, but it's for an agent to hold an open house on one of their own listings. And usually these listings are pretty special. And they'll usually provide you with some type of lunch, snack, whatever. So that's another incentive to go. You get some free food. And when you're starting off in the business, you're a little hungry, right? Yeah. Go there and have your phone. So create content while you're there. Yeah. And then if you don't have your social medias in line, I mean, it's kind of like necessary nowadays to at least have an Instagram or Facebook. And I would just start getting this daily routine of posting content. And so if you build up that content, you don't have to use it right away. You can kind of just have it loaded in your phone, ready to go, and then publish it as the weeks go on. And if you hit multiple broker opens or just open houses in general, you're going to be gaining more attraction. I love it when I'm in public and there's people I know and they're like, man, Spencer, you're looking so good. You do a lot of business. How's real estate? And the main conversation, how that gets set is through our Facebook and our YouTube channels. And people notice that, they see it. And whether they say, oh man, you're just so busy or what, they recognize you as a real estate agent. And I do think that's pretty important, especially if you're a business owner. I want to know that, hey, I'm talking to the head of this business at XYZ, and that's really kind of cool to me though, whenever we're in public is, man, Mariah, you're doing so good. You guys are busy. And whether we are or not, you don't actually have to tell anybody. And so that's what I would say. If I was to be first in the business and get my real estate license trying to generate something, start looking busy. Does that make sense?
It does. I actually saw a video a while ago of a gal who is a top producer in her market. She was really young and she is a new agent, but she was doing really well and was very busy. But she said, my principal broker, when I first got licensed, told me this. She said, the way you get busy in real estate is by looking busy in real estate. So start going to houses, posting every house you see, just posting all the time. I'm at this house here, at this house here. And she did that. And obviously it worked because now she's selling a lot of houses because she made herself look busy.
Yeah. You're going to get new buyers for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, you guys, another thing that I would do if I was truly like, this is truly what I would do from the bottom of my heart. If I was in a position where I was like, I'm new in the business, my business hasn't taken off, but I feel called to this. Okay. There's nothing wrong with, I don't want to even say quitting, pivoting. Okay. If this isn't right for you, if you get into the business and you're like, you know what, this is actually not right for me, I'm actually called over here, then please exit the business. That's fine. But if you really feel like this is the path for you and this is what you really want to do, I would do this. I would buy myself a ticket to a real estate conference. These can be very expensive. If you are not in a position because you're like, I don't have the funds, my account's been draining, I would put it on credit. And I think like maybe this is bad advice, but I'm just telling you what I would actually do if I wanted to save my career. I can tell you when I was a new agent, I was probably about a year in, I flew myself to a Tom Ferry conference in Las Vegas, and it was so career changing. It helped my career just launch, and the amount of ideas and strategies and excitement and game planning and networking that I gained from this one event was amazing. The agents I still network with now and pass referrals back and forth with 10 years later. But the biggest thing was seeing agents actually in person, seeing agents who are making some of them millions of dollars a year, actually getting to see that, because there's a big difference. I feel like a shift happens in your brain when you actually see firsthand someone else doing that. Then it's like, oh wait, I actually can do that. Or you see the possibilities and you hear people saying, you know what? I prospected for sell by owners and this is where it got me. And so it really feels that like passion behind you, because I feel like it's really hard to keep going if you don't have that vision, I guess, of what it could look like. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know. That's truly what I would do if I was in a like last ditch effort. I gotta save my business.
Trust me, Mariah's still doing this too.
Spend the money to do that.
She emails me or texts me all the time. Whenever like a conference comes up, there's real conferences. I heard they're incredible. We'll see. We haven't yet.
He doesn't understand because he's never been to one, but it was amazing.
Well, okay. Here's another thing though. You don't have to fly to Vegas. You don't have to fly out of state. Here's a recommendation.
But you should
simply do. Talk to a title agency. We have a title rep here in Oregon. She'll message us sometimes when a conference is coming into town, and sometimes they are connected to Tom Ferry and those type of things. So you can definitely sometimes get free tickets from your title company, because most of them have that type of subscription. They want you to bring them business, right? Yeah. So what they're trying to do is attract you to use their services. And what better way to use their services than increase your sale volume? So that's why sometimes they do provide you with these conferences. There's usually a title rep on the marketing team. And so if you are unaware of that, call one of your local title companies and say, hey, who is you? I'm a realtor and I'm looking for your marketing rep that could help with our business and our partnership alongside in the future. And then establish that relationship, because they actually can help you if you do take it serious. They helped us before through the years with like business planning. Sometimes we just wanted something to do and it seemed like the right time of year. We'd go down and say, hey, what's it going to take to make this dollar amount throughout the end of the year? They broke down like our appointment sets, our conversions, our how many calls do we got to make, those type of things through your prospecting methods. So they actually can be pretty helpful in as a resource.
That's really good. Another thing I would say, if you are a brand new agent and you're at a point of like, I can't do this anymore, this isn't working, I got to get out of the business, is I would take a really good look at your why. I don't want to say too much about goals, whatever, but all of that is really important, because if your only goal is paying the bills, obviously it can be motivating, but that's probably not going to get you to put yourself out of your comfort zone as far as you need to succeed in this business, because this business really is about like the further you get out of your comfort zone, the more you do the things that you don't want to do, you're going to get even more rewarded for that, I would say. And if you don't have a huge reason why, a huge thing driving you underneath, this huge vision for where you see your business and life in the future, you're going to get comfortable and you're just going to be like, well, I'm okay. Got some sales here and there and I'm good. But you really got to get that, like the why behind why you're doing it, the actions. I would also look into your brokerage, if they have one, your brokerage's mentorship program. If you don't know what that is, I'm not going to go into it here because I have explained it in detail in videos before on my other channel about realtors. So you can look up like the Real Broker Mentorship Program, and I've explained it before. I'm happy to chat with you if you want to talk about it. But having a mentor, a solid mentor that cares about you and your business to help, can be a very, very valuable asset. And along those lines is you can join a team. If you're at a place where you're like, this isn't working for me, I got to get out of the business, joining a team isn't for everyone, but maybe that is the right route for you. And that is the mentorship and guidance that you need right now.
I got the best team in the world.
Me.
Absolutely. see how I did that, huh? Being married there's kind of this like fine line between business and relation and not bringing home the business. I know lenders that have a realtor wife and he says, oh yeah, we never work deals together. That's hard to believe, FY, but
we always work deals together.
We always work deals together. And we really truly do make this like our lifestyle. So yeah. Maybe this is just a compliment to my wife, but she is a great mentor. She's a great person to be around. She's helpful. And, she's willing to kind of go that extra mile for when it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, man, you got to cut that thing loose. You got to nah, it's too much time, too much energy here. But she is willing to work with it. So that is one thing really great about Mariah. And she obviously has great experience in this industry. She's 11 years now. So unbelievable. Great job, Brian.
Thank you. Well, you guys, that about concludes today's episode. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We have been coming on here every single day lately. So subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell and go back and tune into our previous episodes because you are going to want to not miss them. Wow, I can't talk today. I can't promise we will be every day for forever, but every day for at least a little bit, and then we'll be at least once a week, if not more. But subscribe because you're not going to want to miss this, and we'll see you guys soon.